You don't often get to do shows with a complete Black cast. And especially in a show like this, which is partly to do about how we are Black and how we see ourselves as Black people, and sometimes how we measure up against other Black people.
It feels like we're in this beautiful, magical space, to be honest. Like I always, when I walk in, I'm just like, I know I'm gonna be taken care of. So this moment is monumentous for, did I say the word right?
I think so.
Monumentous.
If not, it's a good word.
It's a new one, monumentous. It's just huge.
Having a primarily Black cast and a Black director, there's just things that you get. We actually had a conversation like off the cuff, like just the castmates. We're talking about how we were in shows and we would have like a white director be like, can you like gritty it up? And I was like, oh, okay. So like not knowing what that was taking it as like gritty. So I was like, go tell it, go tell it. He's like, no, can you like make it darker? And I was like, okay, go tell it. He's like, no, can you like, And one of my friends, Michael, who's also African-American, he's like, Brian, he means get Black with it. And I was like, oh, okay, got it.
For me, it's just, there's something about being with your own and using the same experiences. Even though the ages are different, we still have an experience that's universal amongst us as African Americans. And to bring that joy of life and the sadness and all of that together in one piece is just, it's magical, man.
It just feels lovely and warm and inviting and safe.
Makes you feel like you're connected to something and that you belong somewhere. There's a line in the show that says, America can't handle freaky Negroes. And I can't speak for Latoya, but I feel like we've always felt like we're just so different.
There's certain things that we all try to hide about ourselves and cover up, and this show just shows like, you can go do your own thing and it's going to be okay.
This is a classic story about love and connection. It just happens to have Black people in it. The thing that I want to have happen the most is that Black people get to tell their regular, schmegular, everyday, banal stories and have them be looked at as classic, as literature, as, right? Because the people who were deciding what was classic have all been white, right? And we were there. Our stories are probably parallel, and I want people to recognize that. Our stories are not just all trauma. Like, we have regular stories about liking our family, not liking our family, wanting to travel, having wanderlust, wanting to see the world, you know, butting heads with our parents. We've all that.
It's interesting the kind of content that's out there. Automatically, when you see it's an all-Black cast, you think it's going to be like one of those stories where it's like, I gotta get ready, you know, like, oh, I'm going to feel all the feels and be taught like this really intense thing about like America and race and all these things. Still, you're going to leave having those kinds of in-depth conversations, but it's approached with a lot of joyfulness. You know, it's a celebration.
There's just such a leap of faith that performers have to take every time they put themselves out there that you don't know. And you just have to say, well, I hope that the talent and everything that I've had, the training, all that pays off, but I don't know. So there's a certain amount of like faith that just comes into whether it's a higher power or yourself that you just have to have.
The ancestors. I'm able to do what I do because of the suffering and that they went through, the hardships that they went through, you know. I mean, each generation tries to make it better for the next generation. And they gave me an opportunity to be able to do and choose what I wanted to do.
I think theater is kind of a religion in itself, where people who most of the time are lost or feel like they're different or feel like they don't belong can come to belong and be those things.
Allowing the universe to come into your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul, and be open and receptive to that, and not shy away from it just because it may not be exactly what you think, but be open to it.
Whose story am I telling, right? Yes, as an actor, that person is going to be a part of me, but I want to get it right. Because somebody's listening. It's going to touch somebody. Even if it's just one person, it's going to touch somebody. And I want to get the message right. And so I always ask for the universe, who I haven't given her a name yet. But I ask her, come on, help me out. Like, what am I supposed to say here? What am I supposed to do here? And I get it right a lot of the time.
The reason I'm here is because of music. Music was my entry point to doing theater, and music can shift your mood. It is soul stirring. It can cause you to cry. It can cause you to be angry. It can cause all of this visceralness to come to a head or to a point. And that is everything.
I grew up in the projects, and there were gangs and stuff like that, and it kept me away from that. It made me want to do something different. You know, I wanted to entertain. So for me, it just gave me another outlet, something that I knew I could do. And so yeah, I just kind of like saved my life and kept me here. So I'm kind of grateful to the arts. Yeah.
I still didn't consider myself an artist. I consider myself a person who worked during the day, and at night I got to do a cool show. And then I wanted more. Then I wanted to do more of that. And so I went the community theater route, and I started doing stuff for free. And I'm not saying that that's where everybody needs to start, but it is a good place to observe and cut your chops and make a lot of mistakes before you start asking people to pay you. So I do now consider myself an artist. In fact, now I'm an artist first who has a day job. Yeah, that's the difference.
Beautiful.
Wow. Well, thank you, universe, for acknowledging that.
When I first started, didn't know I was gonna be making art. I was just singing and dancing and like goofing around, and I didn't know that something more was gonna come from it. I feel that by working in art and creating art, I get to understand like humanity more, in the sense of like, why would they do that? Instead of getting mad, you say, why would they do that? And then you look at the why, and then you understand the why. And you're like, oh, okay, I wouldn't have made that choice, but I understand why you did it. Cool, cool, cool. So that's one of the things I think that it's like changed me. It's like I'm just more observant of like things around me.
There's always something magical that happens in theater. You have to be, there's a certain level of openness you have to have in order to play the part, do what you're trying to do, and in order for the audience to connect with you.
Don't get into arts to become the next classical pianist or the next this or the next that. Get into art because art is fulfilling. Art teaches you how to be a human being, I feel, and that is very important.
Art is necessary because art heals, it helps bridge divides. It is necessary. It's the first thing that nations rebuilding go to. It's the first thing we look for, and we embrace it. We just don't pay them enough, right? But it's the thing that we need the most. It's the thing that humanizes us the most. And so if you have an ability to be an artist in any way, shape, form, or capacity, then that's your job.
Okay, so it's gonna be weird, it's gonna be rough. You're gonna end up doing shows that you're like, why am I in this? Like, you literally will have those moments, and you are going to have moments where your full worth is not going to be observed, and they're gonna see you as this. They're like, oh, you are the belting black one. You are the R&B black one. You're this one. Just because those are the titles that are given to you, you don't have to live in that. You are more than the funny black one. You are more than the sassy black one. There's other things you can do.
Believe in that thing that makes you excited inside and let everyone see that. Stop trying to be the next whatever and just be you and live your voice. It's strong. It's in you. It is passionate. It is thoughtful. It is authentic. Trust it.
Find your tribe. That's what I would say. Find the people who care about some of the same things you care about. They're out there.
If you have the inclination to even just try it, if you're questioning of wanting to just even dabble into it, I say go for it, because they'll teach you so much more than just being an actor. I think it teaches more about who you are and who you could be, see yourself a little bigger.
I know that I'm a different person because of theater. And even though I kind of was introduced to it a little bit later in life, I know I wouldn't be the person I am right now. Like, I'm a totally different person, and I love who I am because of theater. So I just say do it.
Be afraid and do it anyway. What do you got to lose, right? And you have everything to gain and all these things to learn. And even when you fall and you fail, you're learning and growing. And so I would say, write your own stories, because the universe needs to hear from you, right? We need good stories. And if you can't see yourself in a story, that means you need to write some.
Listen, I'm 49 years old. It's taken me a long, long time to stop worrying about it. And people who like my work will hire me again. And the people who may not like my work won't. And that's okay. You can't be everything to everybody. It's art, it's subjective. Just keep doing your thing, and those people who gravitate to you and what you do and your creative spark, they'll be there.
Be bold and fail. Allow yourself to fail. Give yourself grace enough to fail, because the only way you can be better and learn the right things to do is if you allow yourself to fail.
Well, fear is good. Fear is good, failure is good, that's how you learn, I'm terrified before I hit the stage every night, but that terror goes away because I'm prepared, I've rehearsed, I know what I'm doing, and so that's a healthy part, just going, yes, I'm scared, and then that music starts or the scene starts or you enter the stage and got to get rid of the fear. It's time to go, So dive in.
You can only grow if you fail. You can only grow if you fail. So put up the crappy thing that you're like, I don't know what to do. Just put something up. And then from that, move on. It will come. It will come. If you've done the work, if you've done what you needed to do, you know the music, you know the script, and you're still having a block, it will come. Trust, it will come. And it does. It doesn't always come the way that you want it to. It may not be splashy and, it may come in quiet. And it may take a little bit of time to unearth and bring other people in to help you cultivate it. But you have to be willing and ready to listen for it. And it might come from someone else. You have to trust, and you have to take your ego out. We're all as artists trying to be this thing, put our stamp on it. But the stamp can have a lot of people's hands on it. To me, theater is about family, about collaboration, about all of us coming together to get to the same place.
I think another thing that's really scary about just theater is you learn a lot about yourself. It puts you in a very vulnerable spot, and it's sometimes scary to express those emotions to a bunch of strangers in an audience, but there's also a lot of joy in that too.
I was auditioning around, I wasn't getting roles, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm done. I guess I'm quitting. I guess this is all, that's it. Okay, I guess I'm done. And I remember calling one of my best friends, and he was like, Brian, you're so stupid. He's like, why are you gonna quit? I was like, because it's not working. He's like, you've been working for 10 years prior. Like, you've been doing the work. And he's like, you're just having a downtime. And I was like, okay. But it was so weird because a lot of times as actors, performers, whatever your art is, especially in actor, someone says, oh, what do you do? I'm an actor. What are you in? If you don't have something to say you're in, it was really affecting my brain because I was like, am I an actor? Am I a performer? Because I don't have this. And then I had to realize that I am more than a performer. I am more than that. That's a part of me, but that does not make up my entire worth.
Breathing for me is a big one, and I forget to breathe all the time, especially in this process. Todd has said over and over, breathe, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wasn't even breathing. It's like, oh yeah, breathe, it's fine. So breathing, and I also tell myself that I am good enough. I'm enough as I am, and it sucks to not get a part, but it doesn't make me any less of an actor, or I just wasn't what they were looking for. Give yourself grace. It's okay. And it's crazy how much we give grace to other people as opposed to ourselves.
The other day, I learned something I never learned, and I was so excited. I was like a little kid. I learned this trick here, and I never did that trick before. And I was like, wow! And all day I was like, yeah, okay, I can't wait to do my trick. I only do it once in the show, but I'm like, I never saw it. I seen it, but nobody ever said, hey, you did this trick. So I'm like, you study all the way through life as an actor. You're always studying. So there's no warning in life other than always keep your mind open to learn. Because learning is, things are always coming at you. Always stay open to learn. And that's to not just to learn, but to learn about other people.
Keep going. It's out there. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have heartbreak. But take those lessons and build upon them. Take those lessons and try something new. Take those lessons and take up space.
If you claim the responsibility of being an artist, then you have to guard your message and figure out really what you want to say, because somebody is listening and somebody needs to hear it the way you say it, right? And so when you think, oh no, I'm just gonna hold it. I don't need to do that. I say, absolutely, bump that. You do, because there's somebody you're gonna save by saying it the way you say it.